If Excel keeps warning you about links, but you can't find any, you're dealing with phantom links. They hide inside charts, pivot tables, queries, names, and even formatting. The result is annoying prompts, broken refreshes, and files that feel haunted. The goal is simple. You want a repeatable way to locate every external reference and remove it safely. We'll go from quick checks to deep, stubborn cases, and we'll do it without breaking your formulas or your reports. The key idea is this: Excel links aren't only in cells. They can live in objects and metadata that don't show up in a normal find. Once you understand where Excel stores those references, the cleanup becomes systematic. You'll also learn when a link is harmless, like a query connection you actually need. By the end, you'll have a checklist you can run in minutes on any workbook. Next step. Before removing anything, get clear on what link means in Excel. An external link is any reference that points outside the workbook. That can be another workbook, a network path, a URL, or even a data connection file. Excel may prompt you to update links when it detects those references during open, calculation, or refresh. Sometimes the link is active, like a formula pulling values from another file. Other times it's dormant, like a chart series that still points to an old workbook you no longer have. The tricky part is that Excel stores links in different places, and each place has its own tools. So the strategy is not one magic button. It's a layered approach. First, identify the type of link, then remove or replace it in the right location. Also, decide up front if you want to keep any connections. In business files, some links are intentional and should be documented. Next step. Start with the fastest triage step. Check Excel's built-in list of external links. Use the Edit Links feature when it's available, because it shows what Excel thinks are linked sources. If you see a source, you can choose to update, change source, or break the link. Breaking links converts linked formulas to values, so it's powerful but risky. If you don't see edit links, that doesn't prove you're clean. It only means Excel isn't exposing a classic workbook to workbook link. Next, search for bracket patterns and formulas, like a left bracket, because external workbook references often include something like otherfile.xlsx. But be careful, not all links include brackets, and not all brackets are links. The point of this step is to quickly catch the obvious offenders. Then we move to the hidden ones: charts, pivots, names, and queries. Think of this as narrowing the search space before deeper surgery. Next step. Now let's hit a common hiding place: defined names. Names can refer to ranges, constants, formulas, and they can quietly point to another workbook. Even worse, names can be created by features like tables, print areas, or old add-ins, so you may not remember they exist. The cleanup process is straightforward. Review the name manager and sort by the refers to field. You're looking for anything that includes a file path, a workbook name, or a bracket reference. If you find one, decide whether to delete it or repoint it to a local range. If the name is used in formulas, deleting it will break those formulas, so replacement is usually safer. A practical approach is to copy the refers to formula into a temporary note, fix the reference, then test key sheets. Names are also a frequent cause of links that survive after you broke links elsewhere, so don't skip this step. Next step. Charts are one of the biggest sources of phantom links because chart series formulas can keep referencing old workbooks long after the cells were fixed. A chart can pull from a named range, a table, or directly from a range address. If that address includes an external workbook, Excel will treat it as a link, even if the chart is on a hidden sheet. The practical way to hunt this is to inspect series formulas. Each series has a formula that includes the series name, X values, and Y values. You're looking for anything that contains a workbook name, a file path, or a bracket reference. Also check chart titles and data labels if they're linked to cells, because those linked cells might contain external references. If you find an external reference, the clean fix is to reselect the data range from within the current workbook. If the chart was copied from another file, rebuilding the series is often faster than patching each part. Next step. Pivot tables can store links in more than one way. The obvious case is a pivot built from an external workbook or an external data source, but even pivots built from local ranges can carry cached references, especially if the source range used to be external. Start by checking the PivotTable's data source settings. Confirm whether it points to a range, a table, the data model, or an external connection. If it points to a range, verify that range is in the current workbook and not a defined name that leaks out. Next, consider the pivot cache. Multiple pivots can share a cache, so one bad pivot can keep the link alive even after you think you fixed another. A clean approach is to recreate the pivot from a confirmed local table. Yes, it's annoying, but it reliably clears stubborn caches. After that, refresh and save, then reopen the file to confirm the prompt is gone. Next step. Power Query and Workbook connections are another major source of link prompts, especially when queries reference files on disk. A query might load data from a CSV, another workbook, a folder, or a web URL. Even if the query is set to connection only, the link still exists. So first, review the list of queries and their source steps. You're looking for source steps that include file paths, folder paths, SharePoint URLs, or connection strings. If the link is no longer needed, delete the query and also remove the corresponding connection. If you do need the query but want to stop prompts, consider changing the source to a stable location, or parameterize the path so it's controlled. Also check for queries that were created automatically, like transform sample file in folder imports. Those helper queries can contain the real link. The key is to clean both the query and the connection metadata, not just one. Next step. Links can also hide in objects you don't think about: shapes, text boxes, pictures, and embedded objects. A text box can be linked to a cell, and that cell might contain an external reference. Pictures can be linked to files on disk. And embedded objects, like an embedded PDF or another Office document, can carry a source path. The cleanup mindset here is anything that can store a reference will. Review special objects, especially if the workbook was assembled from multiple sources. If you suspect a linked picture, try replacing it with an embedded copy rather than a link. For text boxes, break the link by converting it to static text or point it to a local cell. For embedded objects, consider removing and reinserting them in a way that doesn't preserve external paths. This is also where old templates can bite you, because they bring along hidden objects you never intentionally added. Next step. Conditional formatting and data validation are sneaky because they can contain formulas that reference other workbooks, and you won't notice unless you check the rules. Conditional formatting formulas can be applied across large ranges, so one external reference can spread widely. Data validation can also reference a list in another workbook, especially if someone used a named range from a different file. The fix is to review the rules and look for external workbook patterns or file paths. If it's conditional formatting, edit the rule to point to a local range or local named range. If it's data validation, bring the list into the workbook, ideally as a table, then reference that table. A practical tip is to standardize list sheets for validation sources, because it prevents future external links. This step often explains cases where you have zero external formulas in cells, yet Excel still insists there are links somewhere. Next step. Now let's cover a classic trap: links created by copy-paste from another workbook. When you copy a chart, a pivot, or even a formatted range, Excel may bring along references you didn't intend. Sometimes the cells look fine, but the pasted object still points back to the source file. The best prevention is using paste special values for data and rebuilding visuals from local sources. For cleanup, identify which sheets or objects were imported, then focus your search there. If you find a linked range, replace it by recreating it from local data. If you find a linked chart, rebuild the series. If you find a pivot that came from elsewhere, recreate it from a local table. This sounds repetitive, but it's reliable. The deeper point is that breaking links is not a universal undo button. Copy-paste can create links in places that don't respond to that command. Next step. When the link still won't show, you need a structured search pattern. First, check formulas, then names, then charts, then pivots, then queries, then rules and objects. After each change, save, close, and reopen to see if the prompt persists. That reopen test matters, because Excel sometimes doesn't fully register link removal until a new session. If you're comfortable using advanced tools, you can also inspect workbook connections and external references lists more directly. But the key is to stay methodical. Don't change 10 things at once, or you won't know what fixed it. Also, keep a backup copy before you start, because some actions are destructive, like breaking links or deleting queries. A good habit is to log what you removed: which name, which query, which pivot. That way, if something breaks later, you can restore only what's needed instead of rolling back everything. Next step, let's talk about break links because it's both useful and dangerous. When you break a workbook link, Excel converts any formulas that reference that source into their current values. That can be exactly what you want if the external file is gone and you just need a static snapshot. But it can also silently destroy logic you still rely on. So use it only after you've identified what's linked and you've decided values are acceptable. If you need to preserve formulas, a safer approach is to replace the external reference with a local equivalent. For example, copy the needed data into a local table and point formulas there. Or use Power Query to import the data into the workbook, then reference the loaded table. Another tip is to break links late in the process, not early. First, remove links from objects and metadata. Then, if a true formula link remains, you can decide how to handle it intentionally. Next step. After you've cleaned the file, do a final verification pass. Reopen the workbook and confirm there's no update prompt. Then refresh PivotTables and refresh queries to make sure nothing is still trying to reach an old path. Next, check for performance clues. If opening is faster and refresh errors are gone, that's a good sign you removed hidden dependencies. If you still get a prompt, don't guess. Go back to the checklist and focus on the categories most likely in your file type. Reporting workbooks often hide links in charts and pivots. Data prep workbooks often hide them in queries and connections. Template-driven workbooks often hide them in names and objects. The point is to match your search to how the workbook was built. Once you've done this a few times, you'll recognize patterns quickly. If you want one long-term habit, it's this. Keep all source data either inside the workbook or in clearly documented connections, not accidental leftovers. Next step. Here's the simplest way to remember the whole process. Excel links live in cells, names, objects, and connections. So you hunt them in that order, and you validate by reopening the file. If you only do one thing after this, check define names and chart series formulas, because those two create the most confusing phantom links. And when you do remove a link, choose the safest method. Repoint to local data when you still need the logic, and break links only when values are acceptable. If you want, share your situation in a comment using a quick choice. Are your phantom links coming from charts or from queries? Just pick one. And if you want more practical Excel cleanup checklists like this, subscribe. I'm always testing new ways to work smarter. Subscribe to see what workflow I'm breaking down next.